Hi, guys. It's Sven from Badass Counseling. So we created the Badass Counseling group on Facebook, and it grew to well over 45,000 members. And we kept getting asked by folks for a support group, a growth group that's more intimate, gives more access to me, Sven, if possible. So the Badass Counseling team got together, and they created Community Plus. For a monthly fee that isn't cheap, you get direct access to me 2 times a month where you can submit your questions directly. Monthly drawings for a small group counseling session with me. Monthly drawings for one-on-one counseling sessions with me. Priority Pass access to go to the front of the waiting list for ongoing counseling with me. Priority Pass access to be considered to be counseled by me on the Badass Counseling Show podcast. Direct access to my top 2 selling video courses, Healing the Soul and Unleashing Your Greatness. Interviews with people who've had success in their soul journey, some well-known and some everyday folks like you and me. And a fantastic opportunity to meet and get to know other men and women who take their healing and growth seriously and who do the work. And a social community feed where folks share their challenges, their struggles, and their triumph. And so much more. So go now to badasscounseling.com. Click on the Community Plus sign-up page for premium content and direct access to me and to like-minded people who are committed to healing, growth, and creating a community of support and happiness.
From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven Erlandson, takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Welcome to the Badass Counseling Show. My name is Sven Erlandson. I am the host of this show. We are doing a live taping of a lightning round Q&A session, and it is always great to get the questions that we get from you wherever you are checking in from around the world, whether you are checking in from Kirkcaldy, Scotland, Dysarts. It is great to have you here, or Perth, Australia, or New Mexico, or Connecticut, or wherever it may be, Oklahoma even. Across the plains, it is great to have you here checking in to the show with your questions. I am joined in studio by my team, KC over there in the booth, Rob the Rocket sitting next to me. Before we get cranked up, let's hear about Rob wearing the scruffy look today. Roberto, what say ye?
I'm liking it's my pandemic beard has come back. It just makes it much easier to get ready in the morning.
Why is that?
Because I'm lazy.
Wow.
I don't have to shave, just a little bit of trim.
I don't believe that you're lazy, Rob. I have been in your house numerous times. Rob's house is immaculate, well apportioned. I want to have him decorate my house. He chooses the best fixtures. This guy has taste. I don't believe that you're lazy, Rob.
Very gracious.
I don't believe it.
Just a little self-deprecating humor.
Rob, why are you sporting the rough look with whiskers?
Because I, for one, decided to do it myself.
Rob, are you telling a fib?
Yes.
There's a story there, people. All right. We're going to just leave that the way it is. All right. We are going to get started here, folks. I want you sending in your questions. They're already coming at me hot and heavy. In our previous episode of the show, we answered a lot of questions about adult children estranging from parents and what we can do as parents to help our adult children heal. I've got a follow-up question to our last episode of the show. C2 Mama on TikTok asked the question, what is the 7 steps video that you spoke about helping your child heal? Where do I find it? You said it was in 2023. Yes, just quick out of the gate. That is Christmas of 2023. So that's December 24th or 25th. Christmas 2023. I'm in a bomber jacket sitting outside in the snow. All of my videos are outside, right? And it's snowing, and it's titled something like 7 Steps You Can Do to Help Your Adult Child Heal. All right, next question. Michelle asked the question, what's the normal expectation? I feel like our world has shifted, and I want to respect his new life. There's no, this is, oh, okay. Yeah. The thing about TikTok, you get like one fucking sentence, which is great because it forces you to be concise. However, that was too concise. So she had just said in one sentence previous, grown children, son married, first baby on the way, and his sister and I never hear from him. How? And so then the follow-up to that is, what's the normal expectation? I feel like our world has shifted, and I want to respect his new life. That's a tough one. It really is. Your son is married, first baby on the way, and his sister and I had never hear from him. I think it's perfectly acceptable to reach out to him, and whether by a call or a card, I'm thinking about you. We know the baby's on the way, or the baby is here. Love to see pictures if you get a chance, but just want you to know we're thinking of you and sending you your love. Hope you're doing well. Sending an outfit, or would it be okay if we were there at the birth of the child? And if they say no, let that be okay. That's the thing. A lot of kids don't want parents there at the birth, which to our generation is like, what? But then they choose, you can come a month later, or maybe we'll choose a visit or whatever, but it's respecting their boundaries, but still being supportive if they will allow that, but giving them their space. I mean, think about it. Do you remember back when you were young and starting your first relationship, or you had your first kid, or you just had a house, or you just got your, you're getting your feet on the ground and in your job and so forth. There's a lot of energy going into that, and they are starting to expand their wings and fly. Their energy needs to go into that. They don't have energy to be pumping into me, their parent, their father, or into their sister or whatever. And it takes energy, right? And you want to have that connection. Why don't you care about me anymore? And it's not that. Assuming the relationship is still good, assuming there's been no breakdown in the relationship, would it be nice to still get a call from them? Sure. But if there's been two people making deposits into the emotional bank account of our relationship, then there are periods where there are times when I'm going to need to make withdrawals from the relationship, and that's okay. However, if one person has only made withdrawals, well, then it's not okay. But at this point in your life, you can be supportive of your son and just let him know we're here. Is there anything we can do to support you? And just give him his space, but just keep giving love. But if you're wanting something from him, then that may be an indicator of the problem, because it could be that he is creating space because you are always wanting something from him in terms of you somehow pouring love, or him somehow having to pour love into your love cup, that he may feel somehow emotionally responsible for you. And if that is even remotely true, you have to consider how you might be. And I'm not saying this is the case. I'm saying you have to consider this as a parent, or as a lover, or as a sibling. Am I placing a burden? Have I been a burden on this person? And now I'm still wanting love or somehow emotional support from this person. Have I been using this person? And now I'm upset that they're not still meeting my emotional needs. All right, next question. Christy asked the question, also on TikTok. How do I explain to people that I'm happy being single? I've had a recent breakup and I've done the work. How do I explain it to people? How about just saying, you know what? I'm single and I'm enjoying it for now. Sounds like it works for me. The fact that it doesn't work for those people, or more importantly, what's isn't really the issue, that it doesn't work for them, or they're pressing you, but what about this? And you should this or whatever. That's not really the question. Whether or not it works for them is irrelevant, Christy. The real issue is, why do you care? The real issue is that it bothers you. And the real issue is that you feel the need to explain beyond that. You're wanting their approval. You're wanting them to back off. You're wanting something from them, or you're wanting them to stop doing something, rather than just saying, listen, I'm happy the way I am. Life is actually good. Well, I don't believe you. You should. It doesn't matter if you believe me or not. I am. And then just end that part of the conversation. It's okay. You don't have to explain yourself to your girlfriends or to your brother or to your parents. It doesn't matter. The problem is inside of you, that you still feel some sense of obligation to answer to them. That's the real problem. So when you say I've done the work, clearly there's one more piece of work you need to be doing. And that is you still feeling some sense of obligation to explain yourself to these other people who clearly aren't satisfied. It doesn't matter if they're satisfied or not. You're feeling like you have to answer to them. That's the problem. Next question. All right. I've got Doug Jurgens, who has poor taste in football teams. Doug says, Your content helped me fix my relationship with my son. That's great. But I can't get my narcissist father to listen to your whole video. He starts it, but won't let it finish. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Doug. And not because I know your father, I don't, or know anything about your situation, I don't. It doesn't surprise me because the truth is there are a lot of people who don't want to, and I don't know which video you're referring to, but there are just a lot of people who don't want to face their shit. Furthermore, there are just a lot of people who don't want to go into feeling shit, who don't want to go into interpersonal problems shit. My father was really uncomfortable with a lot of that stuff, and it took time before he could go into some. He was World War II generation, and that just wasn't how he personally was wired, but he would over time, and it became a bit more of a priority for him. And it was really beautiful to watch, okay? But your father doesn't want to for whatever reason. And you said, I can't get my dad to do it. Your dad's not the problem, Doug. And I'm not being a dick here, and I'm sorry if it comes off that way, okay? All kidding aside about, football and all that. Your dad's not the problem. The real problem is inside of you, and this is clearly a theme in our questions today. The problem is inside of you. You are still wanting something from your father, Doug. And this is very common. You are not alone here, my brother. You are still wanting something from him. And what the adult child, and you've got older kids, probably teens, 20s, whatever. So that says you're probably 40s, 50s yourself, whatever. I see it in adults in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whose parents are dead, still wanting something, that approval, that acceptance, that confirmation of my worth that you denied me when I was a kid, Dad. You're wanting him to acknowledge what he did to hurt you, to acknowledge your reality, to accept you as you are, to stop criticizing you, to say, you are my son in whom I am well pleased. You're still wanting something from your dad, and that's why it hurts when he won't watch the video. That's why it hurts when he says, no, that shit's bullshit, or I don't want to watch this. This is garbage. I don't care about that. That he won't atone for how he hurt you or let you down or disappointed you or criticized you or tore apart your character. That's why it hurts, Doug. You are still wanting something from him. And as you've heard me say a million times, when we want something from someone, they have the power to make us miserable by withholding it. Rob's next door neighbor, they have 3 boys, cutest little boys, right? Wonderful couple, cutest boys. Now, if I say to one of their boys, hey, you little peckerhead, I'll give you this $20 bill. You just have to grab it out of my hand. And the boy is shorter than me. He's like 12. And I hold it that $20 bill up in the air. And he's jumping, he's trying to get, and he's all laughing and stuff. And I'm just holding it in the air. And I'm saying, I swear to you, in front of your parents, I will give you this $20 bill if you grab it out of my hand. I swear to you, I will. And he keeps trying, and then he gets frustrated. And then he stands on the edge of the sofa, and he tries to jump and grab it, and he still can't. Then he's really smart, and he gets a ladder out of the garage, and he pulls it right up next to me, and he just climbs right up the ladder. And then I step back 3 feet, and he jumps off the ladder. He still can't get it. Now it's not fun and games anymore. Now he's really frustrated, and he's sad, and he's angry. Mom, Dad, he won't give it to me. And I said, I'll give it. He has to get it out. Now he's frustrated and he's sad and he's angry. And it's all these emotional things are welling up. I'm keeping my promise, but he's just not able. What's frustrating him the most is I have something he wants. If he let go of wanting it, of wanting that $20 bill, he could go on and be a happy boy and go play with his brothers and, I don't know, go shoot birds out in the woods or whatever they do. I don't know. Okay. What's my point? Anytime someone has something you want, they have the power to make you miserable by withholding it. And the more you want it, the more miserable you're going to be in not getting it. Doug, your dad has something that you want. And as a result, there is a gross power imbalance in your relationship with your father. He still has power over you. And until you can let go of wanting that confirmation of your worth from your father, he still has power over you, which means his belief system still has power over you. You still believe that you are not good enough, Doug. You still believe that you don't have worth because you are still needing dad to confirm your worth, which means you don't believe you have worth. Once you can finally let go of walking away from getting it from your dad, once you can do that, you are confirming your own worth. And that's this, it's the, what is it? The monkey with his hand in the jar who wants the banana or whatever. And he has to let go of but he can't take the banana and get his hand out of the jar. But in order to get his hand out of the jar, he has to let go of the banana, right? Or whatever that fucking thing is. It's like in that Temple of Doom. No, Last Crusade. And they're trying to grab the goblet, the chalice of Jesus Christ himself. And the whole place is falling apart. And Indy has a chance to grab it and let go, Indy. Let go, Junior. Indiana, let go of the chalice. And he lets it go and then he can save him. But as long as he's trying to get it, he's going to die. Ah! Okay, anyway, next question. I just went back and I was there, right there with Sean Conrad. Anyway.
Connery.
Thank you. Conrad was a different one. Robert Conrad knocked this off my shoulder.
All right. I got one here from Purna Kamala, who says, if emotions are overwhelming, does it mean that the soul is destroyed or repressed?
If emotions are overwhelming, what it fundamentally means, and I was commenting to someone, a commenter on a post this morning when I was laying in bed. Girlfriend was laying next to me, sleeping quietly. Dog was sitting on my chest. Nice, couldn't sleep. Thank you very much. My dog is like 3/4 blind and 3/4 deaf. Tom's everywhere. Sleep is shit. Dogs don't sleep with us, but he does now because he's blind and he's deaf. So anyway, I'm commenting to this person, and she says, I'm a therapist. I can't even hear my own voice. I don't know who I am. And I said, it's because you've got so many other voices in there, not just the emotion, but so many other voices. So it means the soul is overwhelmed with so many voices and so many emotions. So it's not so much that it's repressed, which implies a volition, that you're doing it intentionally. It just means that mom, dad, whoever raised you, stepmom, Debbie, whatever, and all the other avatars since then of those original voices are inside of you, overwhelming you, creating all these emotions or injecting all these emotions, but also all those original messages and beliefs that you were taught to believe about yourself are all in there. And until you get all that out, you can't hear your authentic voice. Your authentic voice has never left you. Your original calling, who you authentically are, is in you as surely as the sun, as surely as the seeds and the fucking those things in the case of irises, lilies, the perennials, they grow in the spring. You got to get all the leaves and the crud and the gunk off of the soil so that the perennials can grow up in the spring. They will grow up. They will shoot through the dirt. But if you don't rake off all the leaves and the gunk and the crud, they can't go through that. All those emotions, all the bullshit beliefs you were taught about yourself are holding down, packed on top of the soil, that rich, nutrient-rich soil in which the seeds of your authentic self, bulbs, thank you, Gigi, the bulbs of your authentic self, they are in you. It has never left you. Your authentic self is not out there. There is no external power source that can tell you who you are. Your authentic self is inside of you. Get out all those other voices trying to tell you who you are, who you need to be in order to get their love. That's the problem, corrupting your soul, people. Woo, daddy. All right, next question. Oh, here's one. Listen to this one. M. That's her name. She's M. Bond reference, clearly. Do you have any pointers for a breakup, but you work together? Yow.
Of course, don't get involved in a work relationship in the first place, but yeah. I don't have a time machine with me today.
Well, yeah, but maybe the relationship started and then you built the business.
Could be.
Yeah. Honestly, don't spend time outside of work together. You need to cut hard and fast boundaries as far as when the workday ends. You do not work together at 8 at night. You've got to turn it back into a job. You really do. And you guys have to have clear conversations about power structure in the business and relation. This is going to be one that you both have to accept. There have got to be boundaries, and you're going to sort out those boundaries as you go along. There are no hard and fast answers here. There really aren't. This is one of those that couples have to sort out as they go because different couples sort it out differently. But there have got to be boundaries around that personal relationship. Do not discuss personal relationships on work time. Do not insult the other person by bringing future personal relationships to the work setting. All right? You both have to show the respect of keeping work separate from personal as much as possible. And if this is not done, you may reach a point where one or both of you has to sell out to the other person or sell out completely and just end it. But this is a tricky little devil, Em, and you both have to be deliberate and respectful of each other, or it's going to have to dissolve. You just have to. All right. Much more to come right after this short break.
Okay. Well, you've heard the podcast. You've listened to other people's issues. Maybe you've studied hundreds of Sven's TikTok videos. Time to stop lurking, face your fears, and focus directly on the one person in your life who can benefit the most from Sven's experience and insight. Now, that would be you. Just go to badasscounseling.com and order Sven's book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup. Or check out his many video courses. Sven found a way to help himself out of a 12 years depression. It worked for him, and it can work for you too. Check out badasscounseling.com today.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
We are back with a lightning round of the Badass Counseling Show. I've got like 4 or 5 questions lined up right in front of me here, really great ones, and I want to take them lickety-split. First of all, I've got a few people sending in questions that have psychological jargon in them. I ask you to please remove that. I am not a psychologist or a psychological therapist or a psychiatrist. I have lots of psychiatrists, medical doctors, psychologists who are clients of mine or members of our group, Community Plus, or who follow, but I do not touch psychology. I have mad respect for it, but that is not my field. And so please take those terms out. I'll still answer your question if you just take those terms out. All right. Tanya Mason on TikTok. I didn't have a childhood. I had an apprenticeship in responsibilities. She offers no question, but I'm going to comment on that. Yes, your childhood was stolen from you. Therefore, in all likelihood, you have problems resting. You have problems sitting down. You feel like you have to earn the right to relax. You feel like you don't have worth unless you are doing. This is a huge one. Someone who had an apprenticeship in responsibilities, someone who started their day with a list of chores. I've had multiple clients with that. Or if they were watching TV, the parent said, you're lazy. Or fundamentally, their worth was tied up in doing. And they've spent their whole life not believing that they have worth in being. And that is your curse, Tanya. That has nothing to do with you. You were lied to. Tanya, you were taught that you have no worth in your being, and until you drill down into the essence of who you are, into your soul, and jackhammer those bullshit beliefs that told you you only have worth if you're doing, until you do that, that motor inside of you is running so fucking fast, you can't even throttle back to 5th gear. You're up in like fucking 18th gear, let alone throttle back to fucking neutral or just shut the engine off. But once you have the balls to do the hardcore work of going down into those core beliefs and jackhammering those the fuck out of you, once you do that, you will know a peace inside of you like you have never known. Tanya says, my stepmom druggie was a druggie. I had to do it to take over being an adult. Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is you got robbed not just of your own childhood, you got robbed of a sense of worth for who you are. And she fucked off. And she was a horrible parent, and that's not love. You were neither loved, nor was she didn't love you, nor was she good. And you have to drill down to those core beliefs, jackhammer them out, get them the fuck out of you, or that will ruin the rest of your life because your worth will forever be tied up in doing. And that is a bullshit message to receive. And the truth is that is a message that a whole lot of men get, that my worth is only tied up in what I do, not in who I am. And until that changes, you're fucked. Your happiness is fucked. Because you will forever be in motion. You will never be able to rest. And I'm willing to bet already, Tanya, I'm willing to bet you're tired. You're tired, aren't you, Tanya? Oh, yeah. You are tired by the time you're 20. If you're 40 now, you're tired. Until you go deep inside. It's going to start to wear on your body, like physically. Your knees will give out, your back. I'll bet you already have some measure of chronic pain. Maybe some autoimmune disease, maybe whatever. It starts to take its toll. It wears on your happiness. You got to heal this shit. You got to go inside, young lady. Next question. Lorraine Ann over on Facebook. I'm trying to bang these out quickly. 10-year relationship over for a few years. We co-parent in the same house. That could mean a few things. He's ready to date. Can you give me ideas to protect my daughter? Okay, co-parent in the same house. That could be a situation where when it's my week, I live in the house, and then when it's his week, he lives in the house, and I get out, and we each switch out for the week the other person is co-parenting or the other person is parenting, or it could be we both occupy the house and we all live together. But then the question that's quite interesting is, can you give me ideas to protect my daughter? And I guess my question would be, Lorraine, it's perfectly fine. It's understandable. I guess my question is, what do you feel the need to protect your daughter from? I don't understand. If you are co-parenting with your 10-year relationship ex, I have to assume you believe your ex is a good person, male or female. So are you protecting your daughter from your ex? No, you wouldn't be co-parenting. You would have already solved that issue of how to protect from your ex in court. So you must feel the need to protect your ex from who your ex is going to be dating or seeing. Why do you assume your daughter needs protection from that person? Or is it, and I'm not trying to be a dick, this is an honest question, or is it your own ego that doesn't like the idea of your daughter having another female influence in her life? What's the real issue? I don't get what she needs protection from. I'm not understanding why you think you have a threat. Go ahead, Rob.
And my experience, a lot of kids have a problem accepting that their parent is involved with someone new.
Understand. And that's something that the child has to talk out with the parent who is doing it. But if the child doesn't feel comfortable talking it out with whoever the other parent is, mother or father, I don't know if you're gay or straight or whatever, then your child needs a child therapist to talk this out with, because they may not feel comfortable talking out with you. The uncomfortable part of co-parenting in the same house is it's also possible, and this can happen even if you aren't co-parenting in the same house, is the child may feel responsible for each of the parents' fucking feelings. Now we got a real fucking sidewinder here, and that sucks. All right? Get the child a therapist. Top thing, get the kid, someone to talk to on their own. But I'm still not understanding protection. That implies a threat, harm. How is your ex dating somehow harm? I understand your child being sad about it, but protection is different from sad, oh, dad's dating now. Those aren't necessarily something that has to be protected from. I'd say get the child a therapist. Without knowing more of the story, I really don't know what the threat is. All right. Unless you see that your ex is a bad person and is going to bring bad people into the home, then you got to go to court. If we're talking like bad people or people doing bad things around your child, well, that's a separate thing. I think you would have said that in the message, though. All right. Tammy Kramus says, am I the asshole? I love that. That's so cool. Great start, Tammy, by the way. Am I the asshole because I cannot move forward from a cheater? Wait, I cannot move forward from a cheater. I was married 26 years. Why does society think we should? I forgive, but I'm so honest. I can't go forward. I'm doing the work, but I'm not done. Okay, let's go backwards. I'm doing the work after being cheated on. Okay, you're doing the work. Fucking yeah. Okay, I'm not done. Nothing wrong with that. I forgive. That's your mistake. But and I'll get to that in a second. I'm not dogging you. I'm just saying, if you haven't done the work, your forgiveness was premature. In my opinion, tell me to go fuck a duck. I don't care. But people are telling you, why does society think we should? Is it society? Let's be really honest, Tammy. Is it society? Like fucking TV? Is it, People Magazine? No, come on. Who is it you're really talking about? You're probably talking about a few of your friends and like your meddling father or your meddling mother or your fucking bitchy little sister or whatever it is, or your pain in the ass brother. All right, it's not society. It's someone close to you or someone's close to you saying, you should move on. You should move on. Come on, sis. Come on, get on. You got to get somebody new. It's not society. It's somebody close to you. Okay, so am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. Next question. Actually, on the forgiveness thing, folks, just Sven's little fucking riff here on forgiveness. And as a former clergyman, and whose father was a clergyman, 4 uncles who were clergy folk, mom who ran giant education programs in churches and so forth, I feel somewhat qualified to speak on forgiveness. If you forgive without getting all of your pain out of you, your forgiveness amounts to dick. Nothing. Forgiveness, saying, oh, I forgive with the love of Jesus, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't make your pain go away. There is no magic fucking potion. It is not voodoo. All right? I don't care if it's in the name of Christianity or fucking Hinduism or fucking Shinto. There's no voodoo magic potion here, people. I don't care if you're a witch. Hey, man, whatever your religion is, there is no magic incantation that makes your motherfucking pain go away and makes everything better. Saying, I forgive them, that doesn't make it go away. Do you want to know what it does, all that fucking pain and misery? It stuffs it down deeper. I am all for forgiveness. You want to forgive? Fucking forgive. Just wait. Can you? Can you wait? You talk about society pressuring you to move on. Maybe society and or your religion pressured you to forgive. You got to forgive. You got to forgive. And then you got to jump right back in. You got to forgive. Why don't we just put a pause? I'm not saying put a stop or don't forgive. I'm just saying, can we just hit the pause button? You know, that one that on your little tape recorder machine, it used to be way over to the far right, the pause button. Some of them didn't even have a pause button. All right, but pause button. Just wait on the forgiveness. Do the deep work that you're doing. Do the flushing out your own pain. Flush it out, flush it out, flush it out, flush it out, and then decide if you want to forgive. But forgiving and pretending that, no, I get people coming to me all the time saying, oh, I forgave. How come I still am hurting inside? How come I'm still angry? Because the forgiveness doesn't do dick. All right, next question. All right, I gave you a visual on that one. Rob missed it. All right, here we go.
I was working over here.
And by working, he means petting his cat. I was going to use the alternate term, but I chose cat. Erica Greer Blank says, I am exhausted. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Tired, man, tired. And that's something I hear from a lot of women in their late 30s, early 40s. I'm tired. And a lot of times it's tired of carrying, a partner who's not, giving as much as they're taking. And one of the complaints is, I just want somebody who gives a shit. Tired of being strong, right? All right. Next question. So many great questions today. This is awesome. Mikey Hamaz on TikTok says, what do you think is the reason of having traveling anxiety? Feeling like I can't travel out of my bubble? Well, first of all, obviously that bubble feels safe, right? And that means that you have to understand all fear is the result of pain. You have past pain and you fear future pain. And so that bubble represents a shield. It's like a protector shield, Star Wars, fucking Star Trek. Put up the deflectors. What is it? Forward deflector shields?
Shields.
So what do I think the reason is? Because you have fucking pain in your past. And furthermore, you see yourself as unable to handle it. Fundamentally, at the depths of who you are, you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself as being able to handle any future pain. It's the same way as people who experience past pain in relationships. The reason they hold back from future relationships is because they think, if I get hurt again, it will be a fate worse than death. The pain would be devastating. Whereas someone who has done the work to heal that past pain, to get the pain out of them and heal the past pain from childhood, then any new pain isn't on top of this massive, giant 500-pound rock of all the past pain. It's just this, 100-pound rock. Well, I can handle a 100-pound rock. Plus, I have the tools to do so. I trust myself. So you're no longer looking for someone that you can trust to not hurt you. Instead, you're open to any situation. Why? Because I know I'll be okay. I trust myself because I've done it before, but also I don't have a giant ball of shit inside of me anymore. So Mikey, fundamentally, you see yourself as weak. You've been so beaten down by life that you're not just afraid of pain, but you have run from your pain so long that you can't handle even one more ounce. So what do? We shrink our world smaller and smaller and smaller. because it just, life outside of our front door represents so much pain. And so at some point, Mikey, in all honesty, and I'm not saying it to be a dick or to be hurtful. This is common across really everyone, all of us, but especially people who are hurting or doing the healing work, is that there's pain that they need to, at some point, your whole life, you've been running from that tidal wave of all your past pain, all the overwhelming feelings and the bullshit beliefs you've been taught about yourself. And at some point, you have to turn and allow that wave to wash over you and go into it and begin to find the roots of your pain and heal it. And here's the thing. Healing shouldn't take a long time. And I have created tools that it can go very, 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 very quickly. There's a hole in my love cup and the follow-up book, Badass Wisdom. All right. This podcast. Rob's been cranking out episodes, 2 episodes a week for 3.5 years. He's doing the work for this, all right? It's free. We've got 1,700 free videos on social media. All of it's free, all right? All this shit to help you heal. There are enough tools here to help you heal. You just got to have the courage to go into it, Mikey, at some point. You want to know why, Mikey? I'm going to tell you right now. This is Mikey on TikTok. Because right now you say, what do you think the reason is that I have traveling anxiety, feeling like I can't travel outside of my bubble? The reason you have to turn into and that tidal wave of all the shit you've been running from your whole life. And in chapter 3 of my book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup. The title of the chapter is literally, You're Running. The reason you have to turn into that is because right now you're afraid of traveling outside of your bubble. That bubble is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, Mikey. Right now you're young. As you age, it's going to get smaller and smaller, and it's going to be afraid of going outside your neighborhood, outside your front door. It is. This is how it works. Why? Because your pain is only increasing. If you're not emptying out all the crud that's corrupting your soul, you're going to only become more and more and more afraid. And as I said, you guys have heard me say it a million times, fear and happiness are inversely correlated. The more pain you have, the less happiness you're going to have. The more happiness you have, the less fear you have to have. And we have less fear once we finally go into all that pain and flush it out. Then we know I can handle this shit. I'm going to be okay. All right.
I have a fear of the shortage of air traffic controllers.
Yeah. So there's that one. I'm driving to Thanksgiving in Raleigh.
Good call.
Yep. Girlfriend's flying down. We'll drive back together, but then I might get stuck on the New Jersey Turnpike. So alas, there's that. Charm over on Facebook asks the question, can you speak to overcoming the shame from growing up in a high control religion? Good question. And you are not alone. The shame of growing up in a high control religion, there are 2 things operative there in your sentence. 1, shame. 2, high control. All right. So you've really got to ask yourself, is it the shame you're wanting to address or the control you're wanting to address? Yes, they interweave, obviously. But if you're wanting to address the shame, then you've got to be willing to say, okay, well, the control isn't the issue I'm dealing with right at this second. The control was used to shame you. But if the real issue was shame, then the real issue is my own self-loathing. I was taught to hate myself. Now, as you guys have heard me say a million times, no child comes out of the womb believing they hate themselves. So fundamentally, what was pressed into, the message that got pressed into the wet cement of your soul is I suck. No child comes out of the womb believing I suck. So that message of shame and I suck has nothing to do with the high control religion. That is universal. That could happen in any sort of home. And so what you have to do is just like I was telling Mikey a second ago, you have to turn into that messaging. Are there unique lilts and tangents that are the result of the religion? Sure. But the fundamental message is still the same. You're not wanted for who you are. You're not lovable the way you are. You're not good enough. You're not worthy of love. Who you really are doesn't matter. The same core fundamental messages are the same, and that's what the book is for, to drill down to those messages and begin the process of excising, cutting out those messages. Because until those root messages are out of you, they're still in you. And those are not unique to the particular religion or denomination of religion that you were raised in. All right? At the essence, the core messages are still the same. You don't have worth. You aren't lovable the way you are. Those all messages are the same. Now, and that is very doable. And again, Charm, this is not a problem that has to take a long time. It is dependent not on time. It is dependent on depth. And your capacity to go deep is dependent on courage. And you're like, well, I got all the courage in the world. And everybody says that until they get into about chapter 1 of the book, especially the journaling exercises. And then it's like, oh, fuck. You don't even know how many people I have get into the book, even into Badass Wisdom, which is the follow-up book, which is in a completely different format. It's a 366-day daily inspirational book that has questions that take you deep. You don't even fucking know how much courage it takes till you get about a chapter in and you start having to go in and journal in writing this deep shit. And I get people saying, Sven, I got to chapter 1 and I set the book down. I haven't picked it up for 6 months. Sven, I read the introduction and it's still sitting on my bedside stand for a month. I'm terrified of your book, Sven. Exactly. Courage. Healing takes courage because that book is going to take you into the depths of who you are. And that's where the healing is. That's why I always tell people, it's not a function of time. I can heal you in months, not years. It's just a question, do you have the balls to go deep? I mean, into the really deepest shit mo. All right, next question. All right. Oh, this is a good one. All right, going to the young people here. JBD Music on TikTok says, do you have any tips for dealing with a college roommate who plays the victim at every little inconvenience? Yes, disengage. Seriously, disengage. Because fundamentally what they're doing, every time you play into that hand or you engage the conversation when they are playing the victim, what you're fundamentally doing is that you are acknowledging it, or you're just going into the black hole of, well, no, that's not true, and it's going to create conflict. You're stuck. It sounds like you're stuck with this person. If they are your roommate, you are stuck with this person. So fundamentally, you have to ask the question, do I want to get along? Because if you stand up to them and you start arguing on the logic of it and the points of it, it's going to create conflict in the relationship, and you're going to have an uncomfortable roommate situation for, well, shit, it's fucking October. You're fucked till May, right? Now, if you're okay with that, then fucking stand up and say, no, technically you're not the victim. Here's what happened, X, Y, and Z. They're playing the victim. Why? Because it's the way they get attention, or they can't bear to accept responsibility in all likelihood, because as a child, they were criticized already and they can't bear, or they were put down and they were taught that they don't have worth. And so they play the victim either A, because they can't handle taking on responsibility for their actions, or they play the victim. Why? It gets them attention, right? And so if you fight them on that, you are going against their very reality that enables them to stay alive. They're playing victim as a survival technique. All right. And so it's going to create tension and confrontation between the two of you, and you're going to live with somebody you can't get along with potentially. However, you don't have to eat that shit. Fuck that. So you can disengage and just not spend time with them and just have sort of a working relationship. Sort of like that question we had earlier on the show. You know, I'm working with my ex. How do we work together even though, you know, we're no longer in a personal relationship? Can you have a roommate that you don't really have a close relationship with? And I got news for you. JBD, it sucks, but you would not be the first college student to have a roommate that you're not really close friends with. My roommate, when I transferred out of the Air Force Academy and I went to a small college in Minnesota, my roommate, really nice guy, really super nice guy, basketball player. But he and I'll just call him Peter. Peter and I, we weren't close. You know, we got along. We were respectful of each other. You know, if you got a girl in the room, you know, put the sock on the door handle, you know, that sort of thing. And we were really nice to each other, and we just had boundaries, but he hung in one circle. He hung in the basketball circle, and I didn't have a circle because I'm a loner, whatever. And, you know, we just went about our business, and that may be the type of relationship that you need to have, but you're not required to sit around and listen to their victimizing themselves. So it sounds like you may need to distance yourself from them. If this is the person you've been depending on for your friendship, you're going to need to find some new friends. But at some point in your life, you realize, shit, I don't want to hang around with someone who plays the victim all the time. Because the more you play into it, the more you're just fucking feeding it. But in the end, you're just sucking the life out of yourself. And time to, you know, you got to be respectful because you're stuck in a relationship with this person, but time to move on with your life. All right, next question. Matt says, how do I learn to let go of hope when my ex said she needs time? Wait a minute. My ex said she needs time, Rob. Wait.
Doesn't sound like it would make sense if it wasn't his ex yet.
Yeah, right. So, Matt, how do I learn to let go of hope? Is she your ex or maybe your ex? She needs time for what? You can understand how I'm confused here, right, Matt? How do I learn to let go of hope? Honestly, I'm just going to answer the first part of the question. How do I learn to let go of hope? Anytime you love someone and there's a breakup or there's a slow walk out of a relationship, someone is slow walking on you. You guys have heard me say this before. After I divorced my second wife, first wife divorced me, I divorced my second wife. I loved her very, very much. She was an amazing woman. Jan was just a fucking incredible woman, truly. To this day, one of the finest human beings I've ever met. But we were like oil and water, and we just fought so much. And I realized I had to end this for the sake of both of ourselves. Just shoot the dying horse. And so I walked away. But a year later, I still missed her, and I couldn't move on with my life. And I realized what was keeping me stuck was not anger and rage or disappointment. I had done the work of journaling all that and writing letters that I didn't send. What was keeping me stuck was love. I still loved her. And so I realized what I had to do was I had to write love letters to Jan and longing and lust. And I mean, she was hot but love. And she was just a great person. And her family, I loved her sisters and her mom and all this. And so I wrote love letters and love letters and love letters, didn't send them. And I allowed my love to flow and to flush it out. And I was in these sort of months of immense glow of love for her. And the more I flushed it out, the more it faded. And my hand that had been tightly gripping let go. And that's what you have hope because you still want her. And that wanting is what you need to be writing her letters about, Matt. Letters of love, letters of longing. The more you flush out all those feelings of love and longing, the more that hope will pass. And then you also, in just as sort of a check your blind spots, you should be flushing out all your letters of anger and rage. And I want to, punch you in the face and all those feelings as well. And if you say you don't have them, I say you're fucking lying out your ass. All right, next question. And lying out your ass, because if you still want her, there's got to be anger that she ended it. You ended it, and I didn't want to end it. I still want you, right? So obviously you still have anger. Come on, Matt. Don't fucking tinker here. You got anything over on YouTube, Rob?
No, but don't send the letters.
Right. Don't send the letters. And you're like, well, why wouldn't I send the letters? People say that. Why? That's the pussy way out. I should send the letters. I'm like, well, send them. In the end, I don't care if you send them. It's just that I was the guy who always made the mistake of sending it. I learned that after my first marriage. I would send all these letters. And it just kept us stuck. But more importantly, I just felt like an idiot afterwards when it didn't really have any effect. And it was only in the long term that I realized my soul needed to write the letters, and I was using those letters to try to get her back. But in the end, from the healing perspective, the goal is to flush out all the pain, the fears, and the bullshit beliefs I had been taught about myself, to flush out all the love. It was to heal myself. So the healing is in the writing and putting it in words on paper. The healing isn't in the sending. But if you want to send it, send it. You may feel like a total dumbass later, but that's okay. That's how we learn. I love making mistakes. I love people who have the courage to make mistakes.
Actually,
all right.
I do have one here that you'll probably like.
All right, go for it.
On YouTube, Rachel asks, what are the steps to figuring out your authentic self?
Who said this?
Rachel.
On YouTube. Rachel, these are the steps. I literally wrote a book to step you through it. Literally. There's a hole in my love cup. All right? The Badass Counseling Method for Healing the Soul and Unleashing Greatness. Literally, step by step by step. This book, it will absolutely kick your ass. It's available as audiobook, ebook, and paperback. It's available in Spanish, Swedish, German, French. Did I say Spanish? It's presently being translated into Latvian, maybe Lithuanian. Okay, this is the book. Go to badasscounseling.com, get the book. It has, and if you think I'm full of shit, just go to Amazon right now. Don't buy it on Amazon because Amazon rapes its authors. Buy it through the website. It'll still send you through Amazon, but they fuck with royalties on authors. They fuck with authors on royalties and on unilaterally changing the pricing. But anyway, there's a hole in my love cup. Step you through the process. All right.
Sven, on YouTube, Linda asks, or says, let's say, I'm 60. I recently moved in with my 83-year-old mother. But she is sneaky, controlling, talks behind people's backs. All the childhood neglect, control, and lack of affection have come forth.
Wow. Okay. And so is there a question?
I think she wants to know how to handle this situation that's making her crazy.
Right. The bottom line is this is nothing new. I'm willing to bet that you knew this was going to happen because your mom is this way because she has always been this way. right? And it's driving you nuts because now it's not just happening, but it's in your face. And it's been happening the whole time, right? And it's a lifetime of shit now in your face every single day. So the bottom line is you have to go inside of you and you have to begin to flush out all of the anger you feel towards her, which also implies all of the hurt towards you that you're feeling because it hurts. And the anger that you feel towards her, you need to be journaling every single day, writing letters to your mother that you don't give to her. If you want to actually begin to address the core problem, you can do that. But I'm not trying to be rude, but good luck with that one. Why? Because she's going to resist the fuck out of you. Furthermore, in all likelihood, she's not going to change and she has power over you. Why? Because she has something you want, and that is a place to live. I'm betting the reason you're living with her is because you're getting a reduction on your rent. Otherwise, why would you be living with her? Unless you're there to take care of her. You're doing it as a gift to her, in which case you have power over her. But if you have power over her, why are you allowing yourself to be treated this way? No, this implies that she still has power over you and she refuses to change. If you haven't read There's a Hole in My Love Cup, you need to. But the bottom line is you have pain from the past that needs to be healed, but also you need to be journaling right now because you've got so much pain and hurt inside of you that's just killing you. And you may reach the point where you have to go ahead and move out because this may be just too much, because this pain that's going on inside of you and between you and your mother is not going to get less. She is not going to lighten up. She is not going to stop, and it's only going to increase. So all of it is going to compound and compound and compound and increase as you spend more time with your mother. All right. I think that is just about it. Rob, good show. Any final comments today?
I don't know. These are good ones. I like hearing about controlling sneaky 83-year-old, which I endeavor to not be. It won't be long.
Yeah, well, come on. You got lots of time between now and then. And even being that, who the hell cares, man? You're living large. You have a great life.
Yes, and I don't want my children to feel like they have to move in with me to take care of me. Ever.
Well, and, you'll be able to get excellent care.
That's
and,
right. Long-term care insurance, baby.
Yep, long-term care insurance. It's worth it.
Got it.
That's it, Daddy-O. Well, thank you to everyone. This has been a great episode of the Badass Counseling Show. I want to thank my team, KC over in the booth. I want to thank Rob the Rocket, and I especially want to thank Gigi for reminding me it's bulbs in the ground. Have a kick-ass day. Slay your demons.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.